Good evening, everybody. Whoops, let me get my microphone up here. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this show. We are halfway through the week. My name is Stuart Davis. I'm a flawed man of God. Welcome to this channel. If you don't know who I am, well, I'm a nobody. I'm a deacon at a small church just outside of Richmond, Virginia. I am not a pastor, not a biblical scholar, and I haven't been to seminary. I'm not trying to get you to join my church or to donate to any special cause. What I am here to do is talk about my thoughts and give you some insights in what I perceive myself to be is a typical everyday Christian, just pouring through the word, trying to make sense out of life and all the different things that happen with it, and try to walk a path closer to Christ, the example that He set for me and all of us um, to receive salvation. I'm not really subscribing to any doctrine. I don't belong to any denomination. This is just me pouring through the word. So what we talk about here is all sorts of different topics as they relate to Christian through the lens of Christianity. Um, Takes on political issues, takes on social issues, takes on biblical issues, specifically biblical issues. And what we're doing tonight is part of an ongoing project, which is to read through and give a reaction to the Bible from A to Z, from Genesis to Revelation, and kind of get my reaction as I read through this, and just kind of giving some responses to what I see. Now, this is an interactive chat. This is an interactive show. So if you see something, if I'm reading something and it speaks to you and you want to agree with me, if it speaks to you in a different way and you want to get that out there, by all means, put that in the chat, and I will. If you're listening to it live or watching me live, go ahead and put that in the chat, and I will. I promise you, I will respond to it. And look, that's what makes this whole presentation better. Getting people's feedback as you go through something to kind of see where the different perspectives lie, where those differences lie, and and what makes things so great about being a Christian community. If you're interested and curious about becoming a Christian or starting that relationship with Jesus, and and you find something worthwhile here, excellent. Welcome to the program. And again, participate, ask questions, and I'll see what I can answer for you as much as I can. But again, I'm a layman. That's part of the perspective here. You're not walking into a church if you're worried about, walking into a church. Everybody's got an agenda. My agenda is to convince you that Christ is the only path to heaven, is the only path to salvation. But it's not my, I'm not doing this as my job. I'm not doing this as an expert in a specific field. I'm just here to talk to you about what I know and what I experience. If you like just listening and to people talk about Christianity and about how it makes them feel, again, welcome. That's what this program's for. Any kind of that stuff, any kind of faith related um, content. This is what we want to talk about here. So that said, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. The the upcoming week, the rest of the week, will only include one more personality. That is going to be a big personality, one I'm very excited about, and that is Pastor Hansfini. I know I've been calling him Reverend. I don't think that's the correct title, but I know that Pastor is okay. So Pastor Hansfini is going to be on. He is the mastermind behind Lutheran Satire, a very funny YouTube channel. If you get a chance to see, he is very funny if you listen to him in action. Follow him on Twitter at Hansfini, and you will see lots of clips. It's very Lutheran oriented, but his content is also it's relatable. That's one of the best things about Hans, um, and his comedy. It's so relatable, even though he's speaking from a pastor's perspective. Um, his sense of humor really just I just find a kick out of it, and he has graciously accepted to come on and talk about humor in the Bible, humor in the Bible, which often seems, even to me, like a very humorless compilation of accounts and letters, and you don't seem to see a lot of laughter that goes on in there. I laugh at a lot of situations that go on in the Bible. You have seen me laugh. I love to laugh. Humor is a big part of my life, but doesn't seem to go on a lot in the Bible. So he's going to be talking about if where where we might find that and pull that from the Bible, what humor means to us as Christians and how we relate to each other. And again, like I said, that is between Eric and him coming on. This has been a banner week. We tried to get Billy Dyer on. He did have another family obligation. So obviously, family comes first. Long before this amateur streaming that I do, and we will get him on to talk about apologetics and teaching our youth and preparing them for a secular world that oftentimes wants nothing more than to turn our children into atheists, and subject them to all sorts of things that are just don't align with what God wants from us. Apologetics is such an important thing to teach our children, and he has got a great mind to it. He's the one who turned me on to apologetics, and again, he's really good. He's got a high praise after preaching at my church, and again, he has graciously agreed to kind of work with me on this project that I'm doing with this outreach that this program actually is all about. In fact, I talked to him today. He's doing a sermon this weekend about the Sabbath and what it means to us as Christians. Obviously, the Sabbath goes all the way back to the Ten Commandments. I would love to get his perspective on that, so I'm going to schedule him to come in at some point and talk about that as well. But first things first, we're going to get apologetics out of the way. So that'll wrap up this weekend, or the rest of this week. Pastor Hans will be on tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And I've got another personality I've been talking to who has agreed to come onto this show who has um, quite a bit of personality to him. At least his Twitter is very um, has a lot of personality, and so we'll see how that is. I've actually never spoken to him face to face. Just DM'd him a little bit, so it'll be the first Twitter personality I bring on here that I didn't know outside of there. With that said, if you like what the content is, if you know somebody who you think might need to hear it, by all means, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to let you know that when new episodes are up. I stream typically between 8 p.m. to 8:15 p.m. ish. So that's the way you can always find me there. I'm unless I make an announcement that I'm not on my social media, then I'll be here reading, either bringing a guest on, talking about a specific subject, or reading from the Bible. And look, there's a lot of Bible, and I'm only in Numbers right now. I'm late tonight, starting up because I did have a meeting. The most holy of holies, and the thing that all Christians can agree on, whether you might have your opinions about the Eucharist or who you should pray, or how you should pray, or what the appropriate dress code is at a church. There is something that all Christians can circle around and agree with, and that is church softball. I am the coach of my church's men's team, and so tonight we were getting together and kicking off and gathering dues and doing all the rules establishments that we were having to do that come along with church softball. And guys, especially guys, but women too. If you're um, looking to join a church and you have any type of athletic ability whatsoever, looking at a local church softball league is a great way to determine if there are people that you want to be around who can reflect Christ in a way that you would expect of Christians, to find them. So if there's a denomination that you are consider yourself part of, or if you're not really sure, join that church. Find that team, join the team. If they're good people and they're encouraging and they're not, bat crazy out there, and not reflecting well at what you think a Christian should, then hey, that's a great end to start and get plugged into a life church, or I'm sorry, a life group. Start learning more about the word, more than I can possibly teach you. But also be careful. Join a church that is founded in the word, founded in scripture, founded in those things, and not just whatever's very trendy, whatever's very much modernistic. That's not the right thing. You're not going to hear that from me. You're not going to hear that type of support. You're not going to hear that kind of promotion from me. Modernizing Christianity is a bad thing, and that is going to be something you hear me say over and over again. It is not of Christ. That is not the purpose of the Word of God. Is to change just because society thinks we need to. That's not that's not our lives. But softball, church softball, it's a great way to get to meet new people. It's a great way to meet Christians, and it's a great way to possibly start. It's a great soft way of getting involved in a church if that's something that you are interested in, and you feel like you have the athletic ability to join. Lots of times with church leagues, you don't need a whole lot of athletic ability. I can speak for that. Many people who know me and have seen me play know that I am slow as molasses. I just am. And so and I apparently I'm very goofy looking when I'm out there on the field, though I do hold my own at least out there enough that I do not feel like a total fool. But that's why I'm late, and it's going to be kind of a longer stream tonight because we're going to be going through four books in Numbers, and it looks like they might be a little long. So let's get into Numbers. So we just left Leviticus. Tuesday night was the first, or last night was the first night where we got into Numbers 1 and 2, and we're really talking. We're doing a lot of counting, a lot of census taking, and so it's a little boring because we're going through genealogy, kind of a genealogy standpoint. We're going through just a census standpoint. It doesn't have a whole lot to do with learning the word. This is more of an accounting, right? And who finds accounting um, who finds accounting very fun to talk about? I don't. So I skimmed over a little bit of it, but just the really, really unnecessary parts. And when I say unnecessary, in the point that I didn't need to read through it to you for you to understand what was going on. But tonight we're going to talk about different groups: Levites and some Girgashites and the other ites, and then the Nazarites, which the Nazarites I feel personally very cool, and they will play a part later on in the Old Testament. So with that said, let's get into chapter 3 of Numbers, the Levites. And I will bring that up currently. Boom. All right. So if you don't know, I use Bible Gateway. Bible Gateway is the best way to access the Bible from your phone or your computer. And I say phone, yes, it's better than an app. Just go on Safari or Google Chrome or whatever the Samsung equivalent is, and use that. It moves very fast. It's got a lot of options out there. It's got a million translations, and it's got some little notes on the side that can possibly help you. Some links to study Bibles, maybe some introductions, a note section for you to, if you've got an account that you can start making notes. Accounts are free. It's very cool stuff. So that said, Levites. This is the account of the family of Aaron and Moses at the time the Lord spoke to Moses at Mount Sinai. So if we remember, the Levites are going to be the priests. That's just their function within the Israelite community, and they're the only ones who can be priests. So we've seen them singled out a few times already. Sometimes for good, sometimes not so good. If you're a son of Aaron and you decide not to approach the Ark of the Covenant the way that you're supposed to, and you get struck deaded. The names of the sons of Aaron were Nadab, the firstborn, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. Two of them are no longer with us at this point of the Bible. Those were the names of Aaron's sons, the anointed priests who were ordained to serve as priests. Nadab and Abihu, however, died before the Lord when they made an offering with unauthorized fire before him in the desert of Sinai. They had no sons, so Eleazar and Ithamar served as priests during the lifetime of their father Aaron. So, again, they ended up deaded because they didn't do what they were told to do. But Aaron, prolific as he is, has two more sons, and we'll see how that works out. The Lord said to Moses, Bring the tribe of Levi and present them to Aaron and the priest to assist him. They are to perform duties for him and for the whole community at the tent of meeting by doing the work of the tabernacle. They are to take care of all the furnishings of the tent of meeting, fulfilling the obligations of the Israelites by doing the work of the tabernacle. Give the Levites to Aaron and his sons. They are the Israelites who are to be given wholly to him. Appoint Aaron and his sons to serve as priests. Anyone else who approaches the sanctuary is to be put to death. Uh, very strong line drawn in the sand by the Lord God Almighty. Um, I don't know if it says in here, but you kind of wonder is like how many people actually get too close. It's kind of a no-fly zone for anybody else. The Lord said to Moses, I've taken the Levites from among the Israelites in place of the first male offspring of every Israelite woman. The Levites are mine. For all the firstborn are mine. When I struck down all the firstborn in Egypt, I set apart for myself every firstborn in Israel, whether human or animal. They are to be mine. I am the Lord. So he's saying, like, basically, look, your firstborn belong to me, but I'm not actually going to take or require you to give over your firstborn sons to me. Instead of that, I've decided I will take one tribe and make that one tribe the holy ones, the holy priests, the ones with that responsibility. With great responsibility, with great power comes great responsibility, right? Spider-Man fans. So that's what he's basically saying. The Levites bear that responsibility, and it's a really cool privilege. It's a very cool thing to be a part of. But again, very important that you have to be a leader at that point, and that's what God has basically set that expectation for you. If you think he's fooling around, just look at just look at Aaron's first two sons and the smoldering messes that they became. The Lord said to Moses in the desert of Sinai, count the Levites by their families and clan. Count every male a month old or more. So Moses counted them as he was commanded by the word of the Lord. These were the names of the sons of Levi: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. Look, I'm reading this, but you are going to have to forgive me as I am going to break a commandment and murder these names because I don't know how to pronounce them. So I'm going to accidentally disrespect people by not pronouncing their names correctly. It's just because I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce them correctly. These were the names of the Gershonite clans. Libni and Shimei. Shimei. The Kohathite clans. Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uziel. The Merarite clans. Mali and Mushi. These were the Levite clans according to their families. The Gershons, I said Girgashites earlier. That was wrong. I was way wrong because that Girgashites are not a good people. To Gershon belongs the clan of the Libnites and the Shimeites. These were the Gershonite clans. The numbers of all the males a month or old or more who were counted was 7,500. 7,500. Let me do it formally. 7,500. The Gershonite clans were to camp on the west, behind the tabernacle. The leader of the families of the Gershonites was Eliasaph, son of Lael. At the tent of meeting, the Gershonites were responsible for the care of the tabernacle and tent, its coverings, the curtain at the entrance to the tent of meeting, the curtains of the courtyard, the curtains at the entrance to the courtyard surrounding the tabernacle and altar, and the ropes, and everything related to their use. Okay, so the Gershonites are basically your roadies of the priest. They do the setup and tear down on the stage. Instead of this case, you're dealing with the Ark of the Covenant. Probably the best roadie job that ever existed. To Kohath belong the clans of the Amramites, Izharites, Hebronites, and Uzielites. These were the Kohathite clans. The number of all the males a month old or more was 8,600. The Kohathites were responsible for the care of the sanctuary. The Kohathite clans were to camp on the south side of the tabernacle. The leader of the families of the Kohathite clans was Elizaphan, son of Uziel. They were responsible for the care of the ark, the table, the lampstand, the altars, the articles of the sanctuary used in ministering, the curtain, and everything related to their use. The chief leader of the Levites was Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest. He was appointed over those who were responsible for the care of the sanctuary. Okay, so here's your janitorial staff, perhaps. They're there making sure all the stuff works correctly, or all the cutlery, the dishes, and other trappings are appropriately cared for. To Merari belong the clans of the Mahalites or Malites and the Mushites. These were the Merarite clan. The number of all the males a month old or more who were counted was 6,200. The leader of the families of the Merarite clans was Zuriel, son of Abihail. Jeez. Struggling here, folks. They were to camp on the north side of the tabernacle. The Merarites were appointed to take care of the frames of the tabernacle, its crossbars, posts, bases, all of its equipment, and everything related to their use, as well as the posts of the surrounding courtyard with their bases, tent pegs, and ropes. So, again, more assignments. So everybody's got a job to do as far as setup and tear down. That's probably to the great relief of all the other tribes. He goes, oh, good. I don't have to worry about setting up and tearing down. Though I'm sure it's a great honor. At the same time, it's probably a very tedious because it requires attention to detail because you're talking about setting up the tabernacle to the Lord Almighty, who has shown he has very little patience with people who are very faithless who have shown themselves to be very faithless to him. So, he's on a hair trigger right now for folks who are thinking thinking that they can phone it in when it comes to setup. I do church setup because we had the quarantining that went on, and so we had to move our services from the sanctuary to the gymnasium, and that required us to put seating up, put curtains up, so that the music could reverberate in a certain way. I don't know, but I was tasked with making sure that gets done, and I can tell you, I try to. I have attention to detail when it comes to that, but at the same time, if you wanted me to do it exactly right, I would probably be getting struck down just like anybody who got too sideways with this and too careless. Of course, if I knew my life was riding on the right line of it, I might be a little bit more careful instead of going, that's close enough. Let's see. Yeah. Moses and Aaron and his sons were to camp to the east of the tabernacle toward the sunrise, in front of the tent of meeting. They were responsible for the care of the sanctuary on behalf of the Israelites. Anyone else who approached the sanctuary was to be put to death. That's extreme sanctuary right there. It's such a sanctuary you don't belong, and you will be put to death. The total number of Levites counted at the Lord's command by Moses and Aaron, according to their clans, including every male a month old or more, was 22,000. The Lord said to Moses, count all the firstborn Israelite males who are a month old or more and make a list of their names. Take the Levites for me in place of all the firstborn of the Israelites, and the livestock of the Levites in place of all the firstborn of the livestock of the Israelites. I am the Lord. Hey, nice of you, God. Because look, the Levites are getting taken care of, so they can raise this livestock, but it really doesn't mean a whole lot to them because they're getting compensated from the entirety of the Israelites. And so, hey, all the stuff that they do is given over to the Lord. And that way, it's not the responsibility of the other tribes to do the same thing. They can save that livestock for the sin offerings and wave offerings and friendship offerings and all the offerings that we don't have to perform anymore because of Jesus. So Moses count so, so Moses counted all of the firstborn of the Israelites, and the Lord commanded him. The total number of firstborn males a month old or more listed by name was 22,273. The Lord also said to Moses, take the Levites in place of all the firstborn of Israel, and the livestock of the Levites in place of their livestock. The Levites are to be mine. I am the Lord. To redeem the 273 firstborn Israelites who exceeded the number of the Levites, collect 5 shekels for each one, according to the sanctuary shekel, which weighs 20 gerahs. Give the money for the redemption of the additional Israelites to Aaron and his sons. So there's going to be an extra fee for going over the amount that the Levites have. So Moses collected the redemption money from those who exceeded the number redeemed by the Levites. From the firstborn of the Israelites, he collected silver, weighing 1,365 shekels, according to the sanctuary shekel, the official shekel of God. Moses gave the redemption money to Aaron and his sons as he was commanded by the word of the Lord. So, again, setting things aside. And look, I mean, this, like I said, some of this is doesn't mean so much to us now. Obviously, a lot of the stuff it pertains mainly to the Israelites. But what we can take away from this is that God is setting up a a society, a functional society with rules that make sense and guidelines that make sense within those rules. And again, what does he say? Just obey me. Just obey what I say, and everything will be okay. That doesn't mean everything's going to be perfect in your life, but if you do what I say, then you don't have anything to worry about. All the glory that I have, I will bestow my grace upon you because He loves us. He loves us like He loves kids, like we love our kids, and more powerfully than that. And that's such an amazing thing. But He makes this known as strict as everybody assumes God is in the Old Testament. What we fail to remember is how disrespectful the Israelites are to Him, um, kind of in His face, right? These are folks that it doesn't require a whole lot of faith. They have God right in front of them, and it's so real and it's so tangible, and yet they don't have that faith, and they do things that are directly disrespectful to Him, to the point where He's like, "Look, I have got to make examples. I have got to be harsh because if I don't, y'all are never going to figure it out." Guess what? When he does decide to be lenient and graceful, they screw up. They screw up, just like we all do, right? But it's a good thing to remember. It's a good thing to remember because as much as we love, as loving as God is is illustrated in the New Testament because of Christ and because of just the way he lived and that example he showed. We often forget that Jesus also says we are going to be held accountable, and that faith is required, and belief in Him, and love for Him, and understanding of His teachings, um, is part of that. Is part of that life that God is looking for us to live. Um, we forget that He shows an abundance of love to us in the Old Testament. When sometimes it sounds like, from as an observer, as I've seen, he doesn't really need to. I wouldn't. He's got phenomenal. I mean, obviously, he's an infinitely powerful God. He's got infinite patience, but man, the relatability there for me is, whew, we definitely don't deserve what we have right now because of what's going on. The Israelites don't deserve any of the niceties. Moses probably does because Moses is doing the right thing. He's doing his best. He's putting his best effort in. But the Israelites as a community, just not doing it. God still wants to still finds redeemable um qualities in them. He still loves them. He still, because they're messing up, but that doesn't mean that they're beyond hope. He's given them as much as they can, as much of a chance as he can for them to rise to the occasion. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Take a census of the Kohathite branch of the Levites by their clans and families. Count all the men from 30 to 50 years of age who come to serve in the work at the tent of meeting. This is the work of the Kohathites at the tent of meeting, the care of the most holy things. When the camp is to move, Aaron and his sons are to go in and take down the shielding curtain and put it over the ark of the covenant law. Then they are to cover the curtain with a durable leather, as opposed to a non-durable leather. Spread a cloth of solid blue over that and put the poles in place. Over the table of the presence, they are to spread a blue cloth and put it on the plates, dishes, and bowls, and the jars for drink offering. The bread that is continually there is to remain on it. They are to spread a scarlet cloth over them, cover that with the durable leather, and put the poles in place. They are to take a blue cloth and cover the lampstand that is for light, together with its lamps, its wick, trimmers, and trays, and all of its jars for the olive oil used to supply it. Then you had to wrap it and all of its accessories in a covering of durable leather and put it on a carrying frame. Over the gold altar, they are to spread a blue cloth and cover that with the durable leather and put the poles in place. They are to take all the articles used for ministering in the sanctuary, wrap them in a blue cloth, cover that with the durable leather, and put them on a carrying frame. They are to remove the ashes from the bronze altar and spread purple cloth over it. Then they are to place it on all the utensils used for ministering at the altar, used for the fire pans, meat forks, shovels, and sprinkling bowls. Over it, they are to spread a covering of the durable leather and put the poles in place. After Aaron and his sons have finished covering the holy furnishings and all the holy articles, and when the camp is ready to move, only then are the Kohathites to come and do the carrying, but they must not touch the holy things or they will die. Okay. So the Kohathites should know that they're not supposed to do stuff until they're told. And Moses and Aaron, you need to make sure they know, or else you can get somebody killed. The Kohathites are to carry those things that are in the tent of meeting. Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, is to have a charge for the for the light, the fragrant incense, the regular grain offering, and the anointing oil. He is to be in charge of the entire tabernacle and everything in it, including its holy furnishings and articles. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "See that the Kohathite tribal clans are not destroying from among the Levites. I'm sorry. See that the Kohathite tribal clans are not destroyed from among the Levites, so that they may live and not die when they come near the most holy things. Do this for them. Aaron and his sons are to go into the sanctuary and assign to each man his work and what he is to carry. But the Kohathites must not go in to look at the holy things, even for a moment, or they will die." Okay, seems fair enough, right? um, yeah, he's like God's like, look, please be mindful and responsible when talking to the Kohathites to let them know when they can and can't do things, because this is really on you. They should know that they're not supposed to do something without your instructions, but don't tell them to do something if you forgot a step. Sounds to me like God would hold Moses and Aaron responsible for that. The Gershonites. The Lord said to Moses, "Take a census of the Gershonites by their families and clans. Count all the men from 30 to 50 years of age who come to serve in the work at the tent of meeting. This is the service of the Gershonite clans and their carrying and their other work. They are to carry the curtains of the tabernacle, that is the tent of meeting, its covering and its outer covering of durable leather, and the curtains for the entrance to the tent of meeting, the curtains of the courtyard surrounding the tabernacle and altar, the curtains for the entrance to the courtyard, the ropes, and all the equipment used in the service of the tent. The Gershonites are to do all that needs to be done with all of these things. All of their service, whether carrying or doing their other work, is to be done under the direction of Aaron and his sons. You shall assign them as their responsibility all they are to carry. This is the service the Gershonite clans at the tent of the Gershonite clans at the tent of meeting. Their duties are to be under this direction of Ithamar, son of Aaron, the priest. Must be nice to be a Gershonite. You don't have to worry about doing something so wrong that you're going to get struck dead. That's always a good that's always a good point. The Merarites. Count the Merarites by their clans and families. Count all the men from 30 to 50 years of age who come to serve in the work at the tent of meeting. As part of all their service at the tent, they are to carry the frames of the tabernacle, its crossbars, posts, and bases, as well as the posts of the surrounding courtyard with their bases, tent pegs, ropes, all their equipment, and everything related to their use. Assign to each man the specific things he is to carry. This is the service of the Merarite clans as they work at the tent of meeting under the direction of Ithamar, son of Aaron, the priest. Numbering of the Levite clans. Moses, Aaron, and the leaders of the community counted the Kohathites by their clans and families. All the men from 30 to 50 years of age who came to serve in the work at the tent of meeting, counted by the clans, were 2,750. This was the total of all those in the Kohathite clans who served at the tent of meeting. Moses and Aaron counted them according to the Lord's command through Moses, because that's what you do. The Gershonites were counted by their clans and families. All the men from 30 to 50 years of age who came to serve in the work at the tent of meeting, counted by their clans and families, were 2,630. This was the total of those in the Gershonite clans who served at the tent of meeting. Moses and Aaron counted them according to the Lord's command. The Merarites were counted by their clans and families. All the men from 30 to 50 years of age who came in to serve in the work of the tent of meeting, counted by their clans, were 30,200. This was the total of those in the Merarite clans. Moses and Aaron counted them according to the Lord's command through Moses. How many times did they miscount? Because some jerk in the group decided to throw out random numbers. You think that didn't go on? I guarantee you it did. Somebody, some sarcastic dude like myself, decided to think it was really funny and was probably stricken with leprosy because God didn't want us getting in the way of that. So Moses, Aaron, and the leaders of Israel counted all the Levites by their clans and families. All the men from 30 to 50 years of age who came to do the work of serving and carrying the tent of meeting numbered 8,580. At the Lord's command through Moses, each was assigned his work and told what to carry. Thus they were counted as the Lord commanded Moses. I wonder if the Lord was curious about this nice even number right here, 3,200. Seems awfully suspicious. Doesn't seem very exact. Somebody rounding? Purity of the camp. The Lord said to Moses, command the Israelites to send away from the camp anyone who has a defiling skin disease or a discharge of any kind, or who is ceremonially unclean because of a dead body. Send away male and female alike. Send them outside the camp so that they will not defile their camp where I dwell among them. The Israelites did so. They sent them outside the camp. They did just as the Lord had instructed Moses. All right, so we're drifting back into Leviticus here a little bit when we're talking about unceremonial cleanliness and skin diseases and such things. They are not to be in the central part. They are not a part of the regular part of society. They are to be just kind of put out until they get their act together in whatever way is causing them to not be ceremonially clean. The Lord said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, any man or woman who wrongs another in any way, and so restitution for wrongs." The Lord said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, any man or woman who wrongs another in any way, and so is unfaithful to the Lord, is guilty and must confess the sin they have committed. They must make full restitution for the wrong that they have done. Add a fifth of the value to it and give it all to the person they have wronged. But if that person has no close relative to whom restitution can be made for the wrong, the restitution belongs to the Lord and must be given to the priest, along with the ram with which atonement is made for the wrongdoer. All the sacred contributions the Israelites bring to a priest will belong to him. Sacred things work Sacred things belong to their owners, but what they give to the priest will belong to the priest." All right, so we've got a restitution here. We've got a path to justice, and even if the other side cannot provide restitution in the appropriate way, uh, if they can't, God has said, "Hey, this is what I've got the priesthood for." Right? This is why that I have things for me that when you were doing without, I can give to you. Sounds like a very parental way of looking at things. Hey, I've required you to give me this things in honor of me, but what is it? Are you in down in the you down on your luck there, or down on your blessings? Do you need a pick me up? Well, guess what? The stuff that you're giving me, that's part of how I will pay. I will That is how I will take care of you. Test for an unfaithful wife. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, if a man goes astray, if a man's wife goes astray and is unfaithful to him so that another man has sexual relations with her, and this is hidden from her husband, and her impurity is undetected, since there is no witness against her and she has not been caught in the act. And if feelings of jealousy come over her husband and he suspects his wife, and she is impure, or if he is jealous and suspects her even though she is not impure, then he is to take his wife to the priest. He must also take an offering of a tenth of an ephah of barley flour on her behalf. He must not pour olive oil on it or put incense on it, because it is a grain offering for jealousy, a reminder offering to draw attention to wrongdoing." All right, so we have an accusation laid. It is of infidelity. It's a big thing. Boom. Taking care of something in the chat real quick. Boom, boom, boom. Make sure I get that all taken care of. All right. Let's check something else. Make sure Rumble's still working the way it's supposed to be working. Boom, 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 boom. Yep. Looks like it's doing all right. All right. So we've got an accusation of infidelity. How are we going to resolve it? There's no witnesses. It's just a suspicion. Can't confirm it or absolve it. So we're going to bring it to the priest. What are you going to bring with the priest? You got to bring an offering. You got to bring an offering here because you're not just going to be wasting our time with nonsense. You're going to pay up for it. The priest shall bring her and have her stand before the Lord. Then he shall take some holy water in a clay jar and put some dust from the tabernacle floor into the water. After the priest has had the woman stand before the Lord, he shall loosen her hair and place in her hands the reminder offering, the grain offering for jealousy, while he himself holds the bitter water that brings a curse. Then the priest shall put the woman under oath and say to her, if no other man has had relations with you and you have not gone astray and become impure while you are married to your husband, may this bitter water that brings a curse not harm you. But if you have gone astray while you marry to your husband, and if you have made yourself impure while having relations with a man other than your husband, here is the priest. Here, the priest is to put the woman under this curse. May the Lord curse you to become a curse among your people when he makes your womb miscarry and your abdomen swell. May this water that brings a curse enter your body so that your abdomen swells or your womb miscarries. Then the woman is to say, Amen. So be it. The priest is to write these curses on a scroll and then wash them off into the bitter water. He shall make the woman drink the bitter water that brings a curse, and this water that brings a curse and causes bitter suffering will enter her. The priest is to take from her hands the grain offering for jealousy, wave it before the Lord. I love doing that. And bring it to the altar. The priest is then to take a handful of the grain offering as a memorial offering and burn it on the altar. After that, he is to have the woman drink the water. If she has made herself impure and has been unfaithful to her husband, this will be the result. When she is made to drink the water that brings a curse and causes bitter suffering, it will enter her. Her abdomen will swell and her womb will miscarry, and she will become a curse. If, however, the woman has not made herself impure but is clean, she will be cleared of guilt and will be able to have children. This, then, is the law of jealousy when a woman goes astray and makes herself impure while married to her husband, or when feelings of jealousy come over a man because he suspects his wife. The priest is to have her stand before the Lord and is to apply this entire law to her. The husband will be innocent of any wrongdoing, but the woman will bear the consequences of her sin. Um, yeah, it doesn't say what happens to the man if he's wrong. I suspect that it's going to be a very uncomfortable walk back to their tent slash house, and it will be they will be erecting a doghouse for said man to do that because not only look you subject your wife to shame like that, public or private. Look, she might be okay with keeping her cool and keeping her godly bearing while while in front of other people. She gonna let you have it when y'all get home. Oh man, don't be that guy. You better come correct. All right, last chapter tonight. I probably should have stopped it at 4, but and done it because I didn't know that they were going to be this long. But we've got we got to talk about the Nazarites. If I did, I should have known. I should have known about the difference between the ites, but I saw them all grouped together. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll keep a similar theme. The Nazarite. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, if a man or woman wants to make a special vow, a vow of dedication to the Lord as a Nazarite, they must abstain from wine and other fermented drink, and must not drink vinegar made from wine or other fermented drink. They must not drink grape juice or eat grapes or raisins. As long as they remain under their Nazarite vow, he must not eat anything that comes from the grapevine, not even the seeds or skins." Number one, the seeds and skins are disgusting. So anyway, but hey, look, no wine, nothing from no grape products, no Welch's, grape juice, no wine, none of that stuff. Wonder if that includes popsicles. about grape drink? Grape flavoring, if it's artificial, is it still okay? During the entire period of their Nazarite vow, no razor may be used on their head. They must be holy until the period of their dedication to the Lord is over. They must let their hair grow long. Okay. So Nazarite isn't a we're establishing here Nazarite is basically a holy vow, right, that you're making before God. And when you do that, there are certain conditions that need to be done. Um, and again, the big thing is um, avoiding vineyard products of all kinds, to include discussing seeds and sin. It is not a vow for forever. It is a vow during a specific period that the person is choosing to make that vow and become that Nazarite. But why would somebody want to be a Nazarite? What is a Nazarite, right? Throughout the period of their dedication to the Lord, the Nazarite must not go near a dead body. Even their own father or mother or brother or sister dies, they must not make themselves ceremonially unclean on account of them, because the symbol of their dedication to God is on their head. Throughout the period of their dedication, they are consecrated to the Lord. If someone dies suddenly in the Nazarite's presence, like Samson and all the Philistines he was suddenly destroying left and right, thus defiling the hair that symbolizes their dedication, they must shave their head on the seventh day, the day of their cleansing. Then on the eighth day, they must bring 2 doves or 2 young pigeons to the priest at the entrance to the tent of meeting. The priest is to offer one as a sin offering and the other as a burnt offering to make atonement for the Nazarite because they sinned by being in the presence of a dead body. That same day, they are to consecrate their head again. They must rededicate themselves to the Lord for the same period of dedication. They must bring a year-old male lamb as a guilt offering. The previous days do not count because they became defiled during their period of dedication. This would be interesting because Samson was a Nazarite, I believe, in all for all intents and purposes, and he had dead bodies around him all the time because he was constantly killing Philistines. Maybe it's because Philistine bodies didn't count. I don't know. We'll have to investigate that. But we're not judges yet. We're not judges yet anyway. This is the law of the Nazarite when the period of their dedication is over. They are to be brought to the entrance of the tent to the tent of meeting. They are to present their offerings to the Lord, a year-old male lamb without defect for a burnt offering, a year-old ewe lamb without defect for a sin offering, a ram without defect for a fellowship offering. Ba ram you. Together with their grain offerings and drink offerings, and a basket of bread made with the finest flour and without yeast, because God don't like yeast. Thick loaves with olive oil mixed in, and thin loaves brushed with olive oil. Look, you got to get this bread correct. The priest is to present all these before the Lord and make the sin offering and the burnt offering. He is to present the basket of unleavened bread and is to sacrifice the ram as a fellowship offering to the Lord, together with its grain offering and drink offering. Then, at the entrance to the tent of meeting, the Nazarite must shave off the hair that symbolizes their dedication. They are to take the hair and put it in the fire that is under the sacrifice of the fellowship offering. After the Nazarite has shaved off the hair that symbolizes their dedication, the priest is to place in their hands a boiled shoulder of the ram, and one thick loaf and one thin loaf from the basket, both made without yeast. The priest shall then wave these before the Lord as a wave offering. They're holy, belong to the priest, together with the priest, together with the breast that was waved and the thigh that was presented, and after that, the Nazarite may drink wine. This is the law of the Nazarite, who vows offerings to the Lord in accordance with their dedication. In addition to whatever else they can afford, they must fulfill the vows they have made according to the law of the Nazarite. So, Nazarite would be an interesting, because I know something about the Nazarites, but I don't know a whole lot. Nazarite would be a great sidebar to bring a guest in to talk more about them. The priestly blessing. The priestly blessing. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron and his sons, this is how you are to bless the Israelites. Say to them, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. So they will put my name on the Israelites, and I will bless them." And we will continue with numbers. I'll be more fastidious in how I get things together going forward, but that's where we are. All right, so learn a little bit more about Israelite society. We learn about the priesthood. We learn about what God is doing, more about how that he's sizing that society up, and setting the Israelite community up to be successful. Again, he doesn't just plop them in the promised land. He just doesn't just make them go through the wilderness and just walk around with no real purpose. That wasn't his intention. There are rules that he's establishing, customs, rights, things that they need to use to hold on to that help them become successful, to help keep them safe and help them operate in a way that makes sense, right? It is up to them to obey those. It's up to them to observe those commandments given to them at their peril. And again, as we read through the Bible, as we read through this Old Testament, it is going to become very clear that the Israelites are oftentimes not interested in doing any of that. So, that said, this will conclude our reading for this evening. We will continue Friday night with numbers. Well, I take that back. Friday night, I'm probably not going to stream. I'm going to probably take that night off just because it's been a busy week for me on the stream and also in the other job related things going on in my life. It's been very eventful. It's been a very eventful week with full of things to look forward to and things that require prayer and reflection with God, just to say, hey, I want to make sure I'm making the right decisions. I want to make sure that I'm that I can that I, you understand that I'm looking to you for guidance and for strength as I go through different things, just for daily life. So, with that said, Thursday night, tomorrow night, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, Pastor Hansfini, the man behind Lutheran Satire, is going to be on, and we are going to be talking about comedy. It is going to be excellent. I am sure that you guys will enjoy it. I have no idea how long the that stream is going to last. It will last as long as Hans wants it to, because I'm assuming he's not going to want to turn it into probably not going to want to turn it into some 2 hour uh, fellowship fest that me and Eric tend to have on our Tuesday streams, but we'll see. Oh, also going back talking about softball, and I'll make this I'll repeat this throughout the different streams. Those games are going to be Tuesday nights, so I'm probably not going to stream on Tuesday nights. I'm sorry, they're going to be on Monday nights. So I'm probably not going to stream on Monday nights while the softball season is going on, because I'll be doing my fellowship with my brothers in Christ. Again, softball is awesome, and we can all get behind it. That said, everybody, you all be good. Be good. Look to the Lord. Look to Christ, and be safe out there. Good night, and God bless.